If they haven't got the royal link, their value to the American media market is very limited. I mean, unless they can be called the Duke and Duchess of Sussex and run their royal standard, which they can, of course. I mean, there's the palace have not said they can't do that. They just can't use the word royal in their business dealings because they're no longer a member of the royal family. Although Harry is still the son of the king, and that in real terms is quite important. And they've changed the name now to Sussexes.com. I mean, and I suppose, they're trying to reinvent themselves. I mean, they're probably exhausted Archewell and running out of ideas on what to do with it. But this is just, this is Meghan, and at her best, she's very aware of the Americans, the way they do things and want things. And I suppose, Archewell always thought it was a strange name anyway, named it after their son, Archie, who, he's a prince now, of course, Prince Archie, and they're named it now after their name in Sussex. And I don't know what their reason for doing it is, but I'm sure it's a good reason, and I'm sure they'll carry on making money out of the royal family. I just wish they wouldn't keep trashing the royal family. That's what really annoys not just me, but everybody in this country. I mean, our king is going through a torrid time at the moment, struggling with his cancer and his treatment and the worry that goes with it. And the last thing he needs is wayward son, his prodigal son, getting up to his antics again in America. So I hope they do, although they've renamed the site Sussexes.com, I hope they keep quiet, certainly in the immediate future, about being disparaging about his father and his brother, really, and our lovely Queen Camilla. Interesting that when he came over to visit his father recently, he didn't bother to go and see his brother, and I don't think his brother wanted to see him. So that schism is very much still in operation. So I think Harry's got to do, in my view, he's got to do a lot of penance. He's got to come here, and he's got to just show that he's sorry for what he's done before I think they'll accept him back. And the king gave him a half an hour. Well, when you think that wasn't much, someone had just flown 6,000 miles. I'm not sure the distance from Los Angeles, but it's quite a distance, and half an hour, and then he stayed overnight and went back the next day. Well, I'm sort of, it's the right thing to do, If it been me, I would have done the same. Any son would have done the same when one of his parents was stricken with cancer, would have done that visit. But quite honestly, it wasn't much time, and why he didn't go up to Sandringham with the king and spend the night with him, probably, which most families would have done. Well, come with me, son, come up to Sandringham, we'll have dinner together and we'll have a chat. But it didn't happen. He was there half an hour and gone, and back to America. So it's still pretty strained, the relationship between Harry and Meghan and the royal family. And I don't think she's been here since the Queen's Jubilee, the St. Paul's service, and they didn't stay long then. So, making an excuse, well, she's looking after the children. Well, they must have nannies, and I mean, she doesn't look after the children all the time. She's always gallivanting around America at these different events. So, someone's looking after the children then. I'm sure someone could look after the children while she came over to the UK. But she doesn't. She chooses to stay there, and I think perhaps the mood of this country at the moment isn't very, what can I say, isn't very positive about this couple. There's a lot of concern that he can't keep trashing them. I mean, I had a row with my brother. I used to have a lot of rows with my brother. We used to have a few fights now and again, but we never would have. I still loved him to death, and they would have never ever done anything to really hurt him, and nor would he have done that to me. We were true brothers, and I'm sure, and watching Harry and William grow up the way they have done for many years. I saw them when they started school. I saw them when they used to play up at Balmoral on the trampoline together, always, and then when Kate came along, It was the threesome. They were brilliant. And I remember him making a speech once saying, my sole purpose in life, role in life, is to support my brother. Well, you know, he's not so much to support. All he's done is trashed his brother, trashed his sister-in-law and his stepmother. And that, in my view, is just not good enough. And so, well, good luck with Sussex.com, Harry. I hope you're kinder with Sussex.com than you were with Archewell. I think you should be. I think this a time now not to start being critical of the royal family, but show some kindness to the royal family. After all, they only ever showed kindness to you. I think they've left Harry to his own devices now. I think they're getting on with it. I mean, look, the king, you've got to admit, everybody has to admit, he's done a brilliant job since he took over from his late mother, and he's made some amazing speeches, and he's been completely honest about and more transparent with the royal family. He's opened a lot of the windows and doors at Buckingham Palace and let a lot of fresh air and light in. And William likewise. William, of course, he's got his own problems. His wife's not well and she's recovering in convalescent, and hopefully get better soon. But you know, he's got his own concerns. I think Harry is the least of their worries now. Charles is, as you say, he's off to treatment with a cancer, and I think he's more concerned about that. And so is Camilla, and William, of course, with his own wife, and of course his father. If Harry had anything about him, he'd be there with his father now. He'd be there, come in, stay here with him, stay a few weeks with him, support him and comfort him and reassure him, and instead of flitting back straight away, you know, get back to some phony award somewhere. But good luck with Sussex.com, Harry. I don't think it's going to make any difference. I don't think people are going to change their attitude towards you or to Meghan. I think you've got to do a lot of penance before that happens.
It does seem really, really strange, though. This couple seems to spend a lot of time trashing the royal family, but they want the benefits of the royal family.
Well, they do get the benefits too, and they do get the benefits of the royal family. But I have to say, and one of the things that annoys me, that they get a lot of publicity still, and there's a lot of interest. You know, they say that people under 30, women under 30, think that Meghan and Harry are victims, and people over 30 think that they are certainly doing the royal family no good whatsoever, and probably should be quiet for a little while. But, you know, it's not their way. I mean, you can't make money being quiet, and, you know, I'm sure they're working on new deals, new schemes, new ways to enrich themselves. But you know what, it can only go for so long. You can only say so many bad things about the royal family, and then people are fed up with listening to it. They want to hear positive news, especially now. You know, as I said recently in a piece in The Sun, when Prince Charles said at his Christmas Day speech, "Love your neighbour, be kind to your neighbour." It's time for Harry to be kind to his father and his brother, who have got their own problems, really massive problems now, coping with illness in the family. And I think he should do that. And I think he should be not worrying about rebranding his company or his website, but rebuilding a relationship with his father and his brother. I think Harry should never have trusted his family. I mean, you know, this is a family that's only been good to him. It gave him the best education that money can possibly buy. With his royal contacts, he got into Sandhurst. With his royal contacts, he got into the Army Air Corps, trained on helicopters. He had he was very well protected when he went to Afghanistan, albeit he did serve the country on 2 tours to that country, to Afghanistan. So, you know, he was very much a hero. And I must say, working with him when he was a working royal was an absolute joy. I mean, it was triumphant. I mean, I did tours with him all around the world, Australia, South America, North America. I mean, he was just an incredible person. And I wished I could see more of that Harry and less of the one I'm seeing now, which just seems to be a selfish, money-making, and just being absolutely disloyal to a family that was always very loyal to him.